Who's left the slippers? Morning, how are you doing? Morning everybody. It's Micro Adventure Monday. How are you doing? Have you had a good week since last time we saw each other? I sort of have and haven't. I've had a cold. Well, no, not really a cold. Last walk we did up to Jubilee Tower from Turton Tower. The day after, I got a horrendous cough, chesty cough. It's not hanging on, it's going now, after much revolting cough syrup. But yeah, it was weird. So I've not been out a lot, plus it's school holidays still, so it's difficult to find somewhere that's reasonably quiet. I'm probably same for today. But we're local again in Bolton today, and we're going to do the Walker Woods and West Pennine Circular. And the reason we're going to do that, not just because it's local, but it's an absolutely stunning day. It's a bit hazy, we might not get some amazing views, but we're going to some places that could offer amazing views, so we'll see when we get there. I've actually parked over there, so that's the Woodland Trust car park. It's free during summer. I don't think it closes till 8 o'clock. When we get back down, we'll have a look. It's got some really good facilities. It's got toilet, always welcome, but usually halfway through a walk and not at the start, sadly. It's got a couple of little vans that serve food and hot drinks. They look really nice. It's got a brilliant view, actually. So not only is it a nice start and end to a walk, it's a really nice spot to have a look at the rest of Bolton from quite a good elevation. So we'll have a look in a bit. It's also the start of lots of little walks around this area, and you can find quite a few variations of that. It's reasonably well signposted, but this one we're going to do it anti-clockwise because I think it'll be a little bit quieter. I don't know whether many people venture out this far on this walk due to a bit of a dicey main road situation. So yeah, let's see. It's about 10:30, something like that. It's really warm. In fact, I'm going to go back down here a little bit and take a bit of a diversion off this route because there could be something worth looking at. Yeah, it's 10:30-ish, and it's April, not even mid-April yet. It's really warm. I think it's forecast to be about 20 degrees today. That doesn't sound like a lot, but if you are in the north of England in April, that's pretty tropical. So I'm starting in a t-shirt. I've got some warmer stuff in case it's cooler up top or breezy or whatever. But the way I feel right now, I could potentially stay like this for the next 5 miles. This is Dovestones Quarry. I've not been here before. It's a little bit off the map, the route that we're taking, but let's go and have a look. It's not like we're in a rush, is it? Oh, you made me jump. Oh, listen. It's like an echo. Look at that front snowman's face, and look at that rear snowman's face. We should be going up this way actually, as part of the route, and I think I'm going to come back down to it because it takes us right up onto the top. I think it's Dean Mills Reservoir, I could be wrong, but you get some absolutely fab views from up there, and it's a nice little sit down and relax. We are heading over to the Winter Hill TV mast. They are doing work on it. They've been doing that I think since February, maybe a little bit earlier, and there's a couple of things that I really want to see on there, and I don't know if one of them may be blocked off, but we can worry about that when we get there. Maybe two of them, I really don't know. We'll see. Wait, I wanted to come back this way though because there's a monument, quite a significant monument on this road. So when we get there, let's have a look at it. We're coming up to our monument shortly. In fact, I don't need to walk back down and walk across. I can pick the path up that takes me up there at the end of this road. Probably not a surprise that these signs exist. A few years ago, I'll have to put up on screen when it was. It seems like 2019 maybe. There were some horrendous wildfires, or fires that actually I think had been set by people on this moor. And the same over, I think it was in Derbyshire. I totally decimated it, and they burned for weeks. You could see the helicopters from a distance going over and dropping water on them, and it just carried on and on and on. Such a mindless act of vandalism and destruction of moorland. Really very sad, very, very sad. So here's our monument. Will you come a Sunday morning? On Sunday the 6th of September 1896, 10,000 Boltonians marched by this spot to reclaim an ancient right-of-way over Winter Hill. The path is now dedicated as a public right-of-way for the enjoyment of all. The 8th of September 1996, that stone was laid. And you can see why you would want to walk across these moors. The view's really started to open up. Like I say, it's a little bit hazy, but even so, still fantastic. Just come across this little legend put here by the Woodland Trust and the Heritage Fund, talking about what you can see from here on a clear day, I guess. So yeah, Manchester city centre is pretty much over in that direction. Can you see Bolton Town Hall? Yeah, you can just see it in the distance, just underneath Manchester city centre. I know these cameras are not brilliant for being able to pick things out that easily. Salford Quays, which is now home of the BBC and ITV. The Trafford Centre, which avoid at all costs. So down in this little bit down here is the natural flood management, a leaky dam, which if you watched last week's video about Turton Tower to Jubilee Tower, I actually put a bit of false information in there, which I thought was to manage the peat. It's actually managed to manage the water, but I guess one's connected to the other. Jodrell Bank, it would be great to see that. Likely it would be on the far horizon anyway. What else have we got? Frodsham, birthplace of Gary Barlow, I think. Maybe that's its claim to fame, and the old man of Frodsham. The two are not probably connected. Yeah, fabulous. It's true about this mast. You can really see it from miles and miles around. I don't think we've lost sight of it yet on this walk since we started. Yeah, it's such an icon. And for essentially what's a bit of an eyesore, really, it's comforting to see. It just reminds me of home. We're going to go back on ourselves a little bit to take in the part of the route that we missed off by going up to have a look at that monument about the right to roam. So there's some little steps here, quite easy to get up. And then let's have a look when we get to the top. Find somewhere to sit, have a drink, have a rest. Maybe have a Percy pig. That's the track we're going to walk across over to Winter Hill. Looks quite popular in a minute. Looks like there's quite a few people on it. It is a nice day though. I've done that when it's been icy. It's absolutely treacherous. And when it's been like a bog. Let's sit here and have a rest. I always carry some Percy pigs. There he is. Maybe I should create a clickbait title. Woman stayed alive on hill and moorland thanks to Percy pig. Did a blind taste test the other day. Such am I as a connoisseur. Because Aldi have released their own dupe. I can't remember what he's called. But there's no competition. Percy, less foamy, less dense, more piquant in the jellied ear. So yeah, he's a clear winner. In the distance over there, you might be able to see two cairns. They're called the Two Lads Cairns. And if it's not too busy, when we get up there, we'll have a look. First tricky crossing actually. It's not, but I'm just worried about what might give way. I don't know whether you can see that very close up. But that person has got the most exciting job in the world right now. They're coming down from the top of the transmitter in a little cage. How cool is that? Possibly the Winter Hill transmission mast is the highest man-made structure in the UK, if not in England. And when it was built, the spot was considered ideal just due to its location and the height of the hill. Yeah, it's a little bit hazy. That's a shame, because the views truly are, on a very clear day, impressive. You can still see Manchester city centre, looks like Oz, in the mist or the pollution or whatever it is. And you can see the ski slope at the Trafford Centre. Yeah, but it's not quite as clear to allow really, really clear views of the surrounding area. But you know, it's a great view up here anyway, even in the near distance. I'm going to try and walk up this bit a little bit to see if there's a different way of approaching, especially the Scotsman memorial plaque. But we'll see. I'm not 100% sure. This could be a walk into nothing, but we'll see. If for no other reason, it was worth coming off that little path, because now it gives you the other side of Rivington, sort of the Darwin, Blackburn side of things. So again, you can see Rochdale over there, or the hills surrounding it, at least. You can see Peel Tower. And in a second, we'll be able to see an additional familiar sight. If you watched the video about Turton Tower to Jubilee Tower, we'll be able to see a familiar landmark in a minute. Oh God, look at that. There you go. Right in the far distance. Oh God, that's a lovely view actually. Is Jubilee Tower. And you can see the reservoir over at Belmont and Belmont Road, which is one of the locations that you can walk up to Jubilee Tower from. That's a really lovely view actually. So I found it. I thought it was on the building actually, it doesn't appear it is. Commemorating the death of 35 members of the motor trade from the Isle of Man whose Bristol Wayfarer crashed near this plaque on the 27th of February 1958. I'll put some voiceover and some facts in about that because it's really quite tragic. Apparently, due to pilot error and an unfamiliarity with the location and some really, really bad weather, including some deep snow, which in some part hampered the rescue efforts. But it seems that everybody mucked in to get the poor souls out. So I've just spoken to a chap now, and he thinks that the Scotsman stump might be in the part where it's closed off due to the work. So yeah, I'm going to go and have a look. If worst case scenario, we'll just come back the way we came. We'll try and find it on another day. I think we might be in luck. I can see something that resembles it, so I think we might be okay. I'm going to turn round because another landmark's coming into view. If you can see between those two fences, that's Rivington Pike, which is a super popular walk. On today like today, that will be absolutely rammed. But yeah, it's a nice walk. Up to it's a bit of a killer. If you come up through Rivington Gardens, it's steep. It's lovely, but it's steep. Here we are. In memory of George Henderson, traveller, native of Annan, Dumfriesshire, who was barbarously murdered on Rivington Moor at noonday, November 9th, 1838, in the 20th year of his age. How sad. We're heading back out to the official route now. So the official path that we downloaded, that was just a little detour due to the road being closed at the transmitter because of the work that's going on. So we're heading back down to carry on the rest of the walk now, down to Two Lads Cairns, which I mentioned before, and you can just actually see in the distance. This region, this area was quite a big mining area. You know, when we started off, we walked up past Coal Pit Road and Coal Pit Row, and you can see across the moor there are locations that are fenced off, and I guess that's to do with dangerous or mine shafts. So best be avoiding them. Stay on the path. Getting to see another side of Bolton now. I think down there, that could be Anglesark Reservoir. I could be wrong, because there's like a few dotted together in a similar area down there, which you would have a much clearer view of from the pike. And you can walk the pike from here to here, which is the Two Lads Cairns. Yeah, suspicions proved to be correct. The Mining Remediation Authority. So this is fenced off because it appears that at some point this was like an outlet or a shaft, and they're dotted all above these moors. We're coming up to the Two Lads Cairns now. And there's a lot of myth and stories and legends about why they're here and what they symbolise. One of them is bigger than the other, But I think they've actually both been rebuilt due to vandalism maybe over the years. I think I read that. We're leaving Two Lads Cairns and the moor now, and there's a tiny little bit of road walking here based on the map that I'm using, but it's shut up at the top, so it's probably quite quiet at the minute. I don't know what it's like on a regular day. It's not a particularly wide road. I've not seen anybody come up and down. I think a motorbike's been up. So it's really short distance until we cross over to go back down through the little, I guess, coppice, back down to the car. So I'll see you in a short while. The start of the walk's in sight now, really. Those houses over there, we came up past those, past the snowmen, and then we walked along this bit. Slight detour to what it said on the map to do. So we did go up to, is it Dean, in the direction of Dean Clough Reservoir, which I think is on the walk, or laid out on the walk. We walked on the bottom road, then we went over the back of the transmitter and had a look at the air crash memorial plaque and the Scottish man's memorial plaque. Then we came back round the back of the transmitter, crossed over the road and came down that marked slab pathway down to the Two Lads Cairns. So it's quite a nice little circular walk. It's not too challenging. We're nearly at the end now. It's been a really nice day today. I'm glad of a little bit of shade because it's been super warm. back to the car. Not very far off now. I hope you've had a really nice time actually. I think we've seen plenty of stuff in what's a short walk, 5-ish miles. The route, I'll put both routes, I'll put the actual route of all trails, and I guess I could put my route, which is slightly different from the one on all trails, so you could see them both. The one I've done takes you over to look at that memorial, couple of memorials. I've probably sounded a bit serious this walk. Do you remember I mentioned, if you're having fun, look like you're having fun. I'm having fun. It's just that that little bit cough is taking it out of me. So maybe I sound a little bit more serious than I usually would. Sorry. Hopefully next time I'll be in a position where I feel 100% and I'm talking a bit more clearly. We're off on holiday next week, but I'm going to take the camera because we're going to a stunning part of the world, and I've got a couple of routes plotted that should take in some great scenery. If it's clear or if it's not clear, I don't mind either way. So I'll tease till next time. Then the week after that, we're going on another adventure. Now, I've been married for sorry. God, how long have I been married for? 35 years? Sorry. And it could end us. So again, a little bit of a tease, something that I've never done before. I might never do again. So we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, if you enjoyed this video and what we've learned today, please give it a like. Please leave a comment. And please subscribe. And I'll see you next Adventure Monday. Thanks for watching.